Good evening. We'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed.
Name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, continue to help the women and men of this council by consistently rejuvenating their spirit of service so that they can continue to walk in the ways exemplified in the life of Dr. King. Help this council to be vessels of hope and justice in a world that doesn't always seem to be fair or just. Help us to walk with eyes and ears open to our community's needs, and with our hands open in helpful service to our neighbors. Help us to work with renewed vigor for an equitable distribution of resources in our city and for a brotherhood that transcends race or color. Then we will not only be blessed, but be a blessing to the citizens of New Iberia. This is our prayer. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make it, Rick. Hello, Rick.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsolin.
Present.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte.
Here.
Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Dee Dee Johnson-Reed.
here.
Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Here.
Thank you. Item 1 is public comment. If you filled out a comment card, we'll call on you. And remember, there's no back and forth. And put your phones on vibrate or silent. And Madam Clerk.
Okay. Michael Bell, agenda item number 4A. It's the public hearing. You want to wait till the public hearing and let him speak?
No, we can.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm just here to talk about the program. I think it would be a mistake with the garage sales. To me, it makes no sense at all. Garage sale is part of American history. It's just like making a 9 in this baseball game, make it turn it into 5. It's as much as America as anything. And we're talking about allowing only one item to be sold. My God, come on. What we're doing is just running the people from the city of New Iberia into Broussard and Lafayette. I have garage sales. I think if we have a problem with, let's say, our neighbor or whatever brought this on, I think we should work with that individually. I don't think the whole city should have to suffer for such. I mean, we have much more important things that we need to discuss in this city council meeting. Really, when I first read it in the paper, I thought it was a joke until I read the date, and it wasn't April the 1st. It was beyond that, because I can't believe we would even think about doing such a thing, because what is going to happen? Just imagine if I have a lot of good things that I like to sell sometimes. If I have a lawnmower, if I have a weed eater, and I want to sell that, but I can't. I have to sell one item at a time. Or first thing I have to do is come to the city and get a free permit. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. No offense to the people that brought it up, none at all. But I'm looking at the big picture, and I think we have made mistakes in the past. We really have to sit and put our heads together, people, and think. Like I tell the young people, think before you react. Because once we do it, it's a serious matter. I don't want to have to go to Broussard or Lafayette. We have given them enough, or Youngville, to go to garage sales. I find a lot of good things. And I just hope people can understand that. It just doesn't make any sense to look, think about it. One item. It doesn't even make sense. So that's all I have to say about this matter. And on the grant, and I hope, Mayor, that the West End is looked at and I think you have it in the plan. And if a lot of people don't know, the West End is one of the oldest, if not the oldest community in the city of New Iberia. We have a lot of historical buildings, a lot of historical sites, just like the old railroad station, the brick streets. All that is part of the West End. We have something, if we work together, that we can draw tourism of all color. And we have to get off of this, people, please. It's not a black, white, brown, yellow thing. It's an American thing. You know, it's a human thing. And we just got to get our act together and think about before you make that decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, item 2A.
Acceptance of the minutes of March 16th, 2021 as published on Wednesday, March 30th, 2021.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by the Mayor Pro Tem, second by Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Madam Clerk, item 3.
Renee Stansberry to discuss Healthy Iberia Coalition's Little Free Pantry Project.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Council, thank you for having me here tonight. As you know, I'm Renee Stansberry. I'm the Regional Manager with the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living, but I currently serve as the Chair for the Healthy Iberia Coalition. We're part of a regional effort to improve the health of our local communities, to improve our rankings at the regional level. In your package, you should have some information about our recent project that we're working on. The coalition applied for a grant from the Louisiana Healthy Communities Coalitions, as well as the Well Ahead program through the Louisiana Department of Health. With that, we were able to secure some funds, and we projected to build about 16 little pantries to put up around the community. And it's a neighbors feeding neighbor concept of you put what you can and others will take what they need. In the packet, you should have a sponsorship packet. We are looking for sponsorships because wood did increase, and so we were about 700 short to build our 16 pantries. However, one of the city council as well as the parish council has pledged $100 to go towards this project. So now we're about 500 short to build those. But in the meantime, we did have a local business owner who donated supplies, and they built an additional 2 of them. So now we have 18 of them to go up around the parish. So in the packet, we just ask if you could help us promote, and if you'd like to be a part of the project, you can fill out the sponsorship packet and send it in. Also in your packet, you have a little bit 4-page, little thicker packet that talks about the enrollment. We're looking for sites to be able to put this up around the whole parish. Maybe it's a church parking lot. Maybe it's a local park. We need 18 sites to start because we're hoping that this just plants the seed and that others will want to put it up in front of their communities and their businesses. And so we're looking to enroll sites. So that was with this packet. So what we ask is that the city, if you can help us locate these locations to be able to place these up, maybe at one of the city parks. And basically it's just a house with a door. It looks really cute. There is a picture in your packet. And individuals, we're going to have a list on what are healthy items, because not only do we want them to get food, but we want them to have access to healthy food items, as well as paper and hygiene products as well. We are talking with the libraries to possibly put one at each of their locations, and half would serve as a pantry and half would serve as a library. So we're in discussions with them right now. The other concept is your packet is Adopt-A-Box. So once these are up, we're actually looking for organizations and groups that want to adopt a location. Maybe it be at First and Third, and they say, well, we want to adopt that box. They would help us each month to maintain those boxes. If some items, foods fell short, we would help them get those items, or they could do a food drive amongst themselves. Working with the school board, they've been a great support in this. They actually want to adopt one of the boxes, and the school board has also allowed the students at West Westgate High School, New Iberia Senior High, and the Career Center have been building these pantries for us. We also partnered with the Sheriff's Department, and they've been building some and will also help us with the installation of those. But the pantries will have something that looks like this on each of the pantries to give everybody just an idea of what they could put in these pantries. So we're just here tonight just to ask you for your support, and you all have my contact information with my card. Does anybody have any questions? Sure.
How do you submit if you want a location for a box? How do you submit?
There is each packet has an email address. So at the bottom of the enrollment packet, because there's two reasons we have an enrollment form. One is going to be location tracking. We want to be able to promote these boxes to let community members know where they can access, but also us so we can maintain and make sure we have a map of the locations. So a site would just fill out this information. They can email it to healthyiberiacoalitions@gmail.com, and we'll get them contacted and get the logistics worked out with them and get the pantry installed.
Can't thank you enough for all you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a good evening.
3B.
Sarah Dake from Senator John Kennedy's office to address the council and introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to take up a minute of your time. I know y'all have a lot on the agenda. Again, my name is Sarah Dake. I'm from Lafayette, and I just started working for Senator John Kennedy recently. So I wanted to come and just pass by, make sure that y'all knew me. If there's anything that y'all might need on the federal side, I would kind of be in your contact, basically. I already talked with your mayor, and we're kind of waiting on some rules with the American Relief Act.
Yes,
so we'll let y'all know whenever we finally get those from the Treasury Department. I definitely will keep y'all informed. But if there's any kind of constituent issues that you might have on the federal level, whether it's passports, you have a veteran that might need help with getting their benefits, or IRS, it's tax season right now. So please give me a call. I gave each one of you my business card except for you. I don't think I got you. But I'll make sure you get one before I leave. And anybody here, if y'all ever need anything from me, please contact your council members, and they can get in contact with me through that. But thank y'all for having me. I look forward to working together with you guys.
Thank you. Look forward to it. Item 4. Before we go to item 4, I'm just going to explain. All this is tonight is the public hearing. We had already did an advertisement for it. The rest of this is not on the agenda. We kind of do anticipate some changes. So all this is because we advertised we would have a public hearing. We're going to have a public hearing because we do what we say. But there's no discussion from us. It's only from the public. And we're not voting on anything because you'll see it's not later in the agenda. Just to give you an explanation. So, Madam Clerk, 4A. No, not from the public. No, sir. When we do the public hearing, in a minute you'll be able to. Yeah, but I got to open it. You'll be able to. Just hang on. So, Madam Clerk, 4A.
Public hearing for proposed ordinance number 2021-08, an ordinance adding Article 6 of Chapter 22 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of New Iberia, consisting of Sections 22-175 through 22-179, regulating yard sales.
Do I have a motion to open our public hearing?
So moved.
So moved by the Mayor Pro Tem and a second by Councilwoman Dee Dee Reed. Now, do we have any public comment? Why, Mr. Phillips, come on up.
Okay. I seem to, let me get through. I think I bear a little of the responsibility for this to be here in the first place. The yard sale that generated this whole thing was in my neighborhood. The gentleman made some very good remarks about people leaving the city of New Iberia. I think the mayor and his aggressive approach to making the city more user-friendly is the right direction. And the yard sale permit is a part of that. We're talking about quality of life, that my neighbor cannot have a retail establishment 365 days a year without an ordinance stopping them. You made that point yourself during the last meeting. Marlon made the point that this happens in his neighborhood. It isn't just my neighborhood. So the fact that you have to draw the line somewhere. If it was more than one, then if somebody could have 365 sales of 2 items, if it was more than one. So you drew the line, or Mr. Simon drew the line, at anything that you're going to sell, a no-cost yard sale permit would allow the city to track the 4 allowed yard sales. So when somebody calls for number 5, they go to the computer and they say, you've already had 4, you can't have number 5. And that's the whole point. It's quality of life, and that's what keeps people in a city. This is in Jefferson Parish. They have a whole section of people called the Quality of Life Department, part of inspection and code enforcement. And all they do, give Jimmy 3 people. All they do is they go out and they don't use policemen, they use quality of life inspectors that are out on the weekends looking for yard sales. Okay, so it sounds trivial. It was trivial to him. The big problems don't get solved. The little bitty problems get solved, and then the big ones don't happen. I'm sorry I disagree with your position, but that is from my 11 years of experience giving yard sale permits, giving Mardi Gras permits, giving building permits. I think I talk from a position of experience and strength. And if you watch TV tonight, you'll hear the same thing on Channel 3.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Mr. Bell, you gonna double dip? Come on up.
The quality of life, when you speak of quality of life, you have to explain what do you mean by quality of life. You know, and again, like I said, the whole city shouldn't have to suffer because that happened in his neighborhood. There's a lot of things that goes wrong in my neighborhood that I can't do anything about, but I do bring it up. So what I'm saying, you can't allow the whole community, because this has been going on for many, many years. You have never heard of any killing, anything ignorant, any fighting and garage sales. My God, that's simple garage sales. There's nothing wrong with getting license, free license. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you get to the point where you're talking about shutting things down, it's a serious matter. To me, that's against my Constitution and my rights to being able to sell things legally in my community. As long as I'm not disturbing anyone, I'm not bothering anyone, I'm doing and following the law and by the rules, I see no reason that it should stop being the way it is. Of course, if you have a problem in any given neighborhood, be any neighborhood, if you have a problem with people doing it every day and there's a problem with that violence or trouble, then it needs to be changed. But there's no serious reason that we should just cut out something that's just as American, like I said, as apple pie. My God, come on. Let's be real. And I don't mind you disagreeing with me. That's what makes America so beautiful, because I have the right to disagree with you, and you have the right to disagree with me. That's why there's no greater country. So we can't get rid of such a thing like garage sale, because it's just not right. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to close our public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Reed and Councilman Swear. Thank y'all. That was some good discussion. All right, now we move on to resolutions. 5A.
Resolution 21-22, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement between the City of New Iberia and architect Paul Allen for professional services for the Downtown Visitors Pavilion Conversion Project and authorizing the mayor to execute all contracts in connection therein.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Whoa,
Go ahead.
Councilman Lewis, and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have any discussion on this item?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I noticed in here that it said that the project fee was 200,000.
The
Estimate?
the project estimate is 200. We have 250 set aside. I was trying for 200, and then the architectural fees are separate from that. And the Mayor Pro Tem, Ricky, has decided to pay for that because it is for the whole community out of his $100,000 from the CARES Act that each member has gotten. And this takes the existing bathroom, does leave one restroom stall, but takes the rest of the bathroom, opens it up, and becomes an open-air visitor center with the hope of keeping our tourists in our downtown longer. And even more important than that, we will have kiosks that directs you to everything in other parts of the town, which I think is very important. If you want to go to Anointed Soul Food, if you wanted to go to Conrico, to the rice mill, if you want to go to other parts of our town that maybe don't get that much publicity, I think we would have at least one kiosk that directs you to unique places to eat, unique places to visit. It's more than what happens to us is they go to some people go to the Shadows, and then they go to Avery Island, Jefferson Island, and we don't retain as many as we could downtown. So that's the whole point of it. But that's basically what the project consists of.
Okay, so my last question has to do with the contract.
Okay.
It stated in the contract that we would have to pay for his insurance if it doesn't meet our standards. Do we normally do that? Do we pay for a
Pay
insurance
for.
premium? For
That's our
extra
normal
insurance?
AIA contract.
Yeah.
No, but Paul, come on up if you don't mind.
That's fine.
I mean, we
I'm
both.
just asking.
Yeah, no, that's great. Where's that in the contract?
Oh, man. I just wrote my question down on
Oh,
the
that's
first
fine.
page.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
So generally with an AIA contract, we're required when we work for public bodies to have professional liability insurance at a
Right.
certain level. But that's included in our professional fee that's quoted on the project. It's not separate, no, it's definitely not separate.
Well, it was under the section compensation for reimbursable expenses.
Right.
So I'm just asking, do
But
we
it's
reimburse
included
for
in this
that?
fee.
Correct, it's included
It's
in the fee
that we
already.
have
So it's not gonna be an additional expense or charge.
And the
Okay.
fee is well below the fee schedule that Paul and I have negotiated. A lower fee than what the state fee curve is. So it's we're getting a good deal, and again, that's included in because he has to have that or he can't work for the city.
No, it wasn't clear to me that it was included. It said reimbursable expenses, so usually that's a cost plus whatever, so that's why I'm asking the question.
That's fine.
Okay, that was it, that was my question.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Comments?
We're not.
Well, thank you.
We're not doing a total demolition, right?
Oh God, no! We couldn't do it with the money. We're saving the walls. We're saving the structure. We're saving the slab. We're going in and demoing. We found a way to halfway tie into some of the existing plumbing. It's not right where we would want it, but no. The only reason we can do this is because of the existing structure that's there that we're saving. We couldn't raise the whole thing and come anywhere close.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
is the kiosk gonna be digital?
We're going to start with probably not digital. We'll
Okay.
probably start with something that is weatherproof, basically like on Lexan or like the exterior kiosks you see
Right.
that we've put up, just because it's not going to be a conditioned space.
Okay.
Interactive would be nice, but you'd have to put that in something that's air conditioned. Being open air, I think we're way too humid for that.
Gotcha.
Anybody else? Cool. Thank you, Paul. Well, if there's no further questions, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 5B.
Resolution 21-23, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement between the City of New Iberia and Staples Engineering and Consulting LLC for professional services on the Jefferson Terrace Drainage Improvements Phase 2 project, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all contracts in connection therewith.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Councilman Swear and Councilwoman Ledbetter. Is there any discussion on this
I got a
item?
question.
Yes, sir.
So, from what I read and discussed it, that's the extension from the current project that was completed. We moving from there
Yes,
towards Almodal.
Yes, for the most part, all we really did was get under the railroad
Right.
track and go to the bayou.
Okay.
And we're right on this side, but we need to connect more. Now we're going to come out of the ground in elevation. We can't go. Don't say all the way to Admiral Dahl because
No, but
we
that
can't.
direction.
It's going in that direction, but it's not going that far. We're going to go till we run out of ground of elevation because drainage is gravity. But yes, so this is the next phase of the project.
Mayor?
Yes.
Do we know how much this is gonna cost? I mean, it says 6% for the fees for the,
Right. Let's call up our engineer.
I didn't see a
Yeah,
construction cost.
we have it. And remember, this money comes from our drainage.
Yes.
And
No, I know.
it's actually less from breaking into two projects than we originally, when we had it at one project, we're going to come off with a little bit of savings.
Yeah, we haven't worked up the final number, but it's expected to be 500,000 in that ballpark.
And what did we spend the first time?
1.1-ish, a
Yeah.
little less 1.1.
And you see, that's actually less than what we originally thought when we first started. We inherited this project when we got in office 4 years ago. It was a proposed project, and the budget was even higher than that. But we actually picked up some economy by doing it in two phases and kind of working some things out.
Okay, all right.
Anybody else?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's in my district.
Yes, ma'am. I figured you would.
And I'm very happy that we've started on phase 2 because in that particular area, there's a lot of flooding. And I look forward to it helping the people who live in that area to, relieve some of that flooding that they see when it rains hard and when we have storms and things like that. So as soon as you can get it done, I'd be appreciative. And my constituents will too.
Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? Thank you, man. I appreciate it. No further comments. I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 5C.
Resolution 21-24, authorizing submittal of fiscal year 2022 to 2023 Louisiana Community Development Block Grant application and entering into agreements associated with administration engineering services.
Do I have a motion? Motion by
Second.
Councilman Broussard, second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. And just to tell you, all of these next few are all related to sewer and all related to, sewer projects. Is there any discussion?
So I'll ask my same question.
Yes, ma'am.
Have we kind of decided which areas would receive these services based on the fact that they have to be in low
Correct.
income and moderate income neighborhoods?
Correct. It is all low and moderate, and a map is put out. We don't put that out, but it is put out. We use the data from it. We hire a consultant, and it is based on income.
Okay. The second question is, I noticed in the grant it says that you have to have a process to reach out to minority and women-owned business. This is more for my knowledge. Do we have a process for that?
Yes, and the consultant that we're using, it's always been Richard Minville, and we're using a new consultant because Mr. Rich is going to still handle some of our projects for 2 to 3 more years. But the sewer projects take 3 years to start. He's going to be, he feels, retired by then.
Okay.
So we have a new consultant, but part of their job is to reach out. They do paperwork. They document that they have done that. So it is part of the process.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Does this cover my neighborhood by any chance?
Vince, come on up.
Acaden Acres, to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I didn't think it did. I didn't think it did. It goes by income.
we have a project right now that has received somewhat final approval, semi-final, I guess you should say, and that was that $1 million you and I had talked about.
Yeah.
So as long as that project is under development, that area won't qualify for more grants.
Yeah, you can't get more till we spend
From the
other-
same program, from the,
Gotcha. Do we have a timeline as to when we could get started, or it just depends on when funding comes in?
it's dependent upon funding, yeah, and it should be this year, the funding comes in, so.
Okay.
I saw the consultant earlier today because we had a public hearing, and only he and I attended. But anyway, and I asked him about it, and he said that he saw something where we were third on a list, and that he definitely felt it was coming. And I asked him the same thing, how soon, and he felt it was this year. That's about as far as answer I got.
Man.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can apply pressure to get this going?
No, because
I'm getting the phone calls constantly.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, about the
It's
sewage.
going as fast as it
Yeah.
can. I mean, Freddie's in touch with his legislative delegation. They've done what we needed them to
Yeah.
do.
I mean, they approved it, and so now it goes through the system. The wheel that squeaks gets the grease up to a point. Once you go through the whole process and they get you there, now you're just beating them with a stick. I mean, there is a time that you just have to say, okay, I know it's coming, thank you. And government doesn't, we don't move as fast as we like. So as you go up the chain, I'm sorry, government doesn't move as fast as we would want. But believe me, I'm on top of it. It's needed. I know that. We have many areas that need help, and this is our only way, I think we might have some money with sewer with President Biden's, act that's coming. But, for now, this is as fast as we can go with the money we can get.
I'd say within a year. You see some, start construction. Still got to go through design, right, and bidding and all that.
Yeah, because once we have it, then we have to hire the engineers, then they have to do their work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll tell them within a year, and if I get an update, I'll let you know.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's good to ask because people don't understand the process, of how long stuff really takes. We talk about things, and there's so many steps. We talk about things for 6 months before it happens, and people get tired of hearing this and saying, well, they're never going to do it, but it's a process.
Right. Okay.
I didn't invent it. Any other discussion? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, 5C.
Resolution 2025, adopting Louisiana Community Development Block Grant Citizen Participation Plan.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Lewis and a second by, was that Councilwoman Ledbetter?
Yes.
Great. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you all. Madam Clerk?
Resolution 21-26, adopting Louisiana Community Development Block Grant Procurement Policy.
Do I have a motion? Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Do I have a second? Who was it? Oh, Councilman Deidre Reed. I thought you were pointing at Deidre. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote your machines. Madam Clerk, 5F.
Resolution 21-27, accepting the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Environmental Audit Report and setting action to maintain permit requirements for Teet Bayou Wastewater Treatment Plant.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by, I think it was Councilman Broussard. He was low, but he got it. And the second was Councilwoman Reed. Is there any discussion? Please vote your machines. Thank you. 5G.
Resolution 21-28, accepting the Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Environmental Audit Report and setting action to maintain permit requirements for Highway 14 wastewater treatment plant.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by, I think it was Councilman Swear, and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Mr. Palumbo?
Thank you, Mr.
5H.
Resolution 21-29, approving state fire marshal covenant for Doc Voorhees wing of the Bayou Teche Museum, restricting occupancy until the completion of Phase 3 construction.
Do I have a motion? Motion. Motion by Councilman Broussard. Councilwoman Marcotte. What this is, just to tell you, in the phase that we're on of the museum, David's here if we have any questions, we can't finish everything. That'll be in the next phase, which more money's coming next year in capital outlay. So because we don't have the new bathrooms, we can use the front part once it's, ready to go, but we cannot occupy it at the full occupancy rate because we don't have bathrooms and the addition in the back. So for the square footage that is finished, the fire marshal said, yes, you'll be able to use it, but he set the number low, and we're just saying we're going to live with the number. That's kind of it. Any questions? Please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Okay, 5I.
Resolution 21-30, designating Hopkins Street as Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Parkway.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Lewis, Councilwoman Reed. Do we have any discussion or comments?
I'm just excited that we have this on the agenda, and I hope that we actually are able to do it. We waited a long time to get something memorialized for Dr. King.
Agreed. Any other items?
Only comment
Yes, sir.
is to kind of ditto and piggyback off of Didi, you know, so people know it's not a street change, it's just memorial signs going up.
That's right.
And we picked Dr. Ledbetter, Ms. Didi Johnson, and State Representative Marcus Bryant. We put our heads together and we thought about Hopkins Street being one of the longest thoroughfares in the city where people can recognize it from all walks of life. And it's also a state highway as of right now, so
Correct.
it was just a good idea and a good spot for it.
Great. Anybody else? I'm excited about this. This is something that's long been talked about. Being a memorial highway, we don't need 911. You know, we don't need any approvals. We can just put the signs up. Public Works is going to make the signs. I would like some help with the wording on the signs, just to make sure that, you know, short and sweet. But if y'all don't mind, I will take some, you know, some input on that, and then we'll get Public Works to make the signs and put them up. I think this is a big step for our community.
Are we able to put a picture on the signs?
I don't know if Joe, we doing this through us. I'm not sure if Joe has that capacity or not. I'll have to find it. Now, maybe we can do the rest of the sign and then go to someone, you know, like we have a company that does our graphics and stuff. So I would say we'll find a way to put a picture on the sign if that's something, you know,
Excellent.
that we want. So anyway, I'll see about getting this done after we vote on it and everybody agrees, because I think it's a long time coming.
Yes.
Any other comments? Then please vote your machines. Thank you all very much, and we have to thank Marcus Bryant, our state rep, and all of you for the hard work that you put in on this. We had a lot of meetings and a lot of discussions, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Item 5J.
Resolution 21-31, awarding contract to Ricky Smith Audio for the replacement of the sound system in City Hall council chambers and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all contracts in connection therewith.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Marcotte and a second by Councilman Broussard, I think. This is our last meeting with this equipment. Anyway, any discussion?
Is this
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
fix me?
Yes, ma'am. You're going to be fixed. You're going to be fixed.
It's gonna make our clerk happy too.
Yes,
Yes.
very much, very
Yes.
much, and it's very needed. And our TV is going to be so big it barely fits between the two curtains, but you know you're going to be able to see it when Jimmy shows those properties. They're going to be in your front
One
yard.
question.
Yes, sir.
Are we gonna have Wi-Fi capabilities on my laptop?
We are. We're really trying to get ourselves, you know, in the age.
So, yeah, so would we have the capability of, you know, like if we're not here, physically here, to be on the TV for Zoom, like a Zoom meeting? Even if we can't vote, just to participate in the meeting?
Huh? I don't. That's kind of a Jeff question. Is that?
No,
can-
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's besides a tech question. It's a.
What's the question again?
If a council member wouldn't be here with the technology we're going to have, they could be on the screen. Is that
have to be here in person.
okay? Okay.
Even if we're not voting, just listening in?
Well, anybody can listen in.
Okay.
I mean, to participate in the meeting, you have to be here.
Okay.
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 But if you just, you know, physically can't be here, but you can listen in?
Yeah, someone could figure something out.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, well, he has his hand up. You're
y-
from Ricky Smith, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you actually use the laptop and you had Zoom on it, she could actually see it
Okay.
through the Wi-Fi that you're using inside.
Well, then that's
the
how
building.
we'll accomplish that. That's good.
Okay.
And that way your big head's not behind me the whole
Now,
meeting.
you could
Gonna get me all
now,
jumpy.
You could do that now simply by using the laptop.
Picking on you.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
okay. Thank
No
you.
worries. I'm good, I just.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we need to be using.
I just kind of thought that legally we had to all be here, but I wasn't sure. So
Right.
someone had asked me that early on. So yes, sir.
The only question I have, so I'm looking at the three individual bids. The first bid compared to the second bid is substantially different
Yes.
in numbers. Is there a particular reason?
Yes, the first bid we decided not to because that's the same equipment we have now,
Okay.
and we wanted to have other capabilities and capacities, and the first bid just didn't meet it.
Okay.
The second bid does, and it's a better system, and you know, we are fair to everybody, but we know that we need more than we have, and we wanted some other capabilities, so it's, you know, that's why we made the selection we did.
All right,
It sets us up good for the future.
It does, and thank you for your help with that.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
thank you.
Anybody else?
Karen's a rock star.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So, all good. Please vote your machines. Great, thank you. And just to tell you, when they take these out, as much of the system as we can, I'd like to be careful with it because we are going to donate this, we're thinking, to the city of Generate. Generate has no system at all, so our scratchy little system would be an upgrade for them. So if we can help, we want to help. Well, don't they have less people? They have less people, so they won't get the dead one. Thank you very much.
And I'll call.
Thank you. Jimmy, come on up. Property standards.
Revisiting 1517 Adams Street for demolition per resolution number 21-16.
Do I have a motion?
I don't have any pictures to count. It's not working.
Okay.
So,
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Broussard, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Reed. Call Jimmy up. Discussion. Jimmy?
it's the same as it was when we left last meeting.
Who's
We talked about it.
I haven't heard
three
anybody.
meetings.
your district?
Gave them,
Broussard?
gave them plenty of time to, anybody to step up, that's demolish it. Tried all we can do to save it, but,
They had some legal issues.
my motion is, demolition. If we have we have everything covered, Mr. Jimmy?
Yeah,
Everything legally?
as far as I know, yeah.
This is the third meeting on this, and the people are getting tired over there on Adams Street. So I
Okay.
recommendation of demolishing it.
And we followed all our procedures from the first one because this is a revisit, so we don't have to do anything but make a resolution and vote.
Right,
Or we're holding to our original resolutions.
right.
Okay. So that's your, here now. Any other comment?
You need a second?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
A question. Overall, Jimmy, this house is, and I've heard you say in the past, anything is repairable.
Oh, yeah, anything.
Is this house more repairable than some of them that we've torn down?
Yes and no.
Yes and no?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my question. My comment is just, no, I'm with you, Mr. Broussard. I hate to see houses that can be repaired torn down. That can be repaired torn down.
Yeah, any house can be
Any
repaired.
house can be
I've
repaired.
seen miracles work.
It's just, this seems like a decent house, but we saw what happened with the family, and that's where we're here because of the families not having a clear title. And I'm gonna just say this publicly. I hate that that's the reason why we end up tearing down houses. That our demolition, you follow what I'm saying? Is our demolition is a way to take care of personal family matters. I just hate that. And I hope the public understands that the best thing to do is get together as a family. If you want to see grandma's house saved, or if you want to see your neighborhood saved, take care of your business at the tax department.
Yes, sir.
So, if I remember correctly, we voted to extend the deadline on this particular property. Last meeting voted on to extend the deadline, that's correct.
I don't remember what the resolution was.
But what I'm saying is, we're gonna vote tonight, we gotta vote to move forward with demolition. So we're gonna need to amend the motion, amend the resolution to move forward, because we did amend it to extend the deadline for the people to present. I think that's, if I'm not mistaken.
It's right here.
Yeah, look.
This is the last one that we did.
So I'm just asking, David's gonna have to make a motion to,
Right.
amend the motion to proceed with demolition.
To revisit the property.
On February 22nd, there was a motion to revisit.
Right.
So if we vote on the original motion, it would be a revisit.
Right. So we'd have to make an additional
What
motion.
is the motion that was made here tonight?
Nothing yet.
See, all it said is revisit. So we're revisiting from our original motion, and our original motion just really calls to revisit.
That was the last meeting.
That was from the last meeting.
Yeah, but
This is the revisit.
in October.
Right. So all Mr. Broussard has to do, I'm asking Jeff, all he has to do is make a motion to demo and get a second on it, and then we vote on that. And that is,
Okay.
in our revisit, that's what we're doing.
Right.
That's what I was
All
saying.
right. Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? Then
Have a second on.
He made his motion already.
you made your motion. Okay, so your motion is to demo. Great. We have a motion on the floor to demo. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a Councilwoman Reed. Okay, is there any discussion on the demo motion? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. Ricky and Aaron, thanks for keeping it straight, because she was telling me the same thing.
I saw it too, Aaron.
That's fine. 6B.
Revisit 118 Horton Street for demolition per resolution number 21-18.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Swear. Do I have a second? Councilwoman Ledbetter. Thank you. Discussion.
Hold on, Freddie, they got some people here for that.
Oh, okay. Well, then let them come up, introduce themselves, and
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Reedham. And my name is Lillian Reedham. We are the heirs of Dorothy Lewis Reedham, our children. We're here to say that as a family, we are in agreement that the thing should be removed. However, we own the property. We do not own the structure on the property.
it's a trailer, right?
Yes, correct.
Mobile home, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
So we're in agreement with the city that it should be removed and demolished.
okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do y'all want to tear it down? Because when the city tears it down, they're gonna have administrative fees and a lot of extra costs. It would be a lot cheaper for y'all to tear it down than for us.
Okay, can we discuss that and see what would the cost be?
The cost runs about $2,500, but then when you add all the administrative fees, it can go to $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay, my question is, how do I have to pay the $4,000 or $5,000? Do I have to pay it all at once, or do I pay the taxes?
It
or how does that
goes,
work?
yes, ma'am, it goes to your taxes.
Okay, all right. So I have to pay like for next year's taxes, I have to pay the fee of the.
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
And Jeff, stay up there for a second, Jeff. I'm gonna call on our city attorney.
Who owns the mobile home?
I have no idea.
We have no idea. Because
Yeah,
no
which
one
is
contacted
pretty
us to put it on there.
Crazy that the mobile home showed up.
There was a mobile home there before, and then this one, it was damaged, and then this one was moved on.
And my
Okay,
father.
So it might have happened between,
They showed progress. Who was the gentleman that came in and showed, he said he was working on the mobile home and he
what
showed
he did,
progress.
he just put siding on it.
Okay.
I didn't see any
I thought
roof.
he was part of the family.
No, we don't know him. Never spoke to him.
I don't know who it is.
That's so crazy.
Sound like a legal matter.
Yes.
Yeah, can the Reedhams go after Mr. Stokes and try to get some of their money back?
The Reedhams just wanted moved.
I understand. I understand.
And Ms. Lillian Reedham called me today. We talked. And I explained to her that the cost of us doing it is a lot more than the cost of them. Because we have testing we have to do, we have administrative costs, we have to follow some bid laws to get people to go out there and demolish stuff. So we have processes that cost extra money. If you guys can get that thing off there, you save yourself a lot of money not making us do it.
Like, how much time would it require to do that?
Because
First time we gotta find out who the people are that have it, who the property belongs to. That's the first step we have to, the structure.
The structure, not the property.
Not the structure, I mean, the structure.
The property belongs to a lot of people.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
Yeah,
talk
well,
about that
yeah,
today.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
the property, we understand that's a family thing. We've discussed it with the brothers and sisters and grandkids, we understand that. But it's the structure, we need to find out who owns the structure. Because that's the big problem. We had no idea who was on the structure, who owned the structure.
Was it a Stokes maybe?
That's what I just heard.
Yeah, that's who came
Dr. Ledbetter
to the
said.
meeting. And
Yes.
Jimmy, we have any contacts for him? No?
I got his number, I can give him the contact number.
Okay.
I'm not an attorney, but it sounds like maybe they contact him, have him move his trailer, and then if he say, well, I know it's not my property, I'll move my trailer, and if he don't move the trailer, then you go to the next step. I think this should be done in steps. Because if it's his trailer, give him an opportunity to move it off of their property, and then if he doesn't move it off of their property, then they take further action as a family. And I'm glad Jeff told him that it's gonna be cheaper for y'all to tear it down.
But that's gonna be a long process.
Yeah, I understand the city has been dealing with this See, we only found out about this a couple of weeks ago when a friend of hers sent her an email. And I guess my thing is, you guys have been dealing with this for a very long time.
The neighborhood has been, you know.
Yeah, we
yeah.
just wanna be good
Dustin's,
citizens and do our part
Oh, I
to
understand.
make
I
the
understand.
neighborhood safe.
And we want to help you.
Can I make a comment?
That's fine, go ahead.
Yeah. Dee.
It sounds to me like the Readings have decided that they would like the city to tear it down and just pay the fee, and they wouldn't have all the headache of doing it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me, and they've come to the realization that it is gonna cost, and they're willing to pay that cost. So they're shaking their heads, yes. They're
Yes,
shaking their heads, yes.
Yes, ma'am,
They
no.
want us to take it down.
Yeah.
And,
Okay,
you know, I know, we can't,
yeah.
I know we can't go back and forth, so to the family, it's still cheaper to find somebody to tear it down. I know guys who can tear it down. Now, Jimmy, that's a, go ahead, you go
That's
there.
gonna be a big legal issue between them and the owner of the trailer.
That's what I'm saying, so,
Okay.
so you're saying we can solve it all if
They
we.
can't just go tear the trailer down, cause I had one guy do that in town already, and he had to
So
go pay
Jimmy,
for
my
the trailer.
question is, can we just go tear it down?
There's an additional thing.
That's the thing,
No, it's
I'm,
real.
That thing, excuse me, I'm a
Give him your name. Give him your name.
Everybody knows John Reed.
Reedham. Okay, the additional problem is that when I checked with the city department, they don't know where that came from. So you have a structure that appears in the city, you have city regulations that require that a mover gets a permit, the owners get a permit, and nobody knows where this structure came from or who it belongs to. It's an embarrassment.
I agree, Mr. John. Dustin.
bizarre, and that's not the first time I heard that, Mr. Reedham, about other properties.
Yeah.
You're right.
Dustin.
So basically, when Mr. Stokes came to us that first meeting, his testimony was pretty much irrelevant because he's not the owner of the property. So, am I correct?
But he is the owner of.
No, he's not the owner of the property. He's the owner of a movable.
Property
The
to be
movable.
torn down.
Yeah, the
He's the owner of a movable. They're the ones that can be charged at the end of the day on their tax rolls. I think that's gonna be their battle between them and that individual. My thing is, like Freddie had mentioned earlier about we've been having this group come in, revitalize the area, paint the houses, all these things we're trying to put forward in the area, and this thing's still here. Still in the same shape it was when he first came. I mean, besides a couple of siding patches. But where I stand is I think we need to make a motion to demo it. And that's something they just got to battle out if it becomes a civil matter. I think taking another step is kicking the can down the road some more. Because we started off at 30, we went to 60, which was all fine with the council. And now we're coming back and saying, well, let's wait and see if he moves it off. Well, his first go around, we can't stick by his word the first go around because that's not even his property. So that's just my concern as far as him. We taking his word, okay, let's wait another 60 days, see if he moves it or see if he tears it down. I think we could be still sitting here with the same issue. So that's just my opinion. I mean, I hate to see him have to go through this because this was a shocker to me when I got the phone call today.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. That's where I stand. So thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ricky.
So, I think, in defense of you guys, I think, the city council's, is challenged with blighted property in the city. We're trying to address blighted property, and that's what we've been doing. We've been making progress, and this has been on the agenda for several weeks. And obviously, the gentleman that came up in front of this council, was false, said he owned, from what I understand, he owned the property, owned the trailer, whatever, and nothing happened. So, I think, you guys try to attempt to tear it down. You can't just tear it down, pull it to the road. You got to get a dumpster. You got to do a bunch of different things, and it's going to be very challenging. And I'm with Dustin. I think, as a council member, I'm trying to clean up the city and blighted property. I know what's out there. I would look at it. I would like to move forward and demo it and just you guys settle the civil matter with the owner and be done with it. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Marlon, go ahead.
Did you speak yet on the issue?
You go ahead.
No.
No, okay, then you'll speak and then I'll go to trying to give everybody a shot.
Okay, if the city goes in and we demolish this trailer because it's a blighted property, can they come back on the property owners and sue them?
Oh, that's a Jeff question.
Don't know how they could sue them if they haven't leased the property.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we're not gonna leave the property owners in a worse position and
Well, yeah.
and leave them open to legal.
No, because they're stuck
Issues.
already. I mean, you know, I
Right,
don't want
but-
to do anything that makes it worse.
Well, okay, but you know, we have every reason to want the property owners to solve this problem without us. You know, but it's not happened. So we gave our notices. The guy showed up. We think he's the owner of the mobile home, or do we?
I thought he
even
was,
know?
I
He
thought
said
he
his
owned.
mother owned the mobile home. He didn't say he was, he said his mother owned the mobile home. The mobile home.
Sarah sent him in.
Yeah, he did.
Do we know how to reach this guy?
Yeah, I got contact information on it.
Does the mobile home have value if it's pulled off the property?
I don't know if they can move it, even move it.
That's,
It's not in good shape. I think it would fall apart if you moved.
If they try to move it,
Tell
they
you the
stand
truth,
up
I
on
mean,
the street.
It's in bad shape.
Then we got big problems.
I'm looking at it from a lot of different angles. Why should this family have to pay for that trailer to be moved if it was stuck over there? I'm kind of trying to, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm kind of thinking legal. Why should this family have to pay for it? They're gonna eventually have to pay for it.
Right,
So is anybody considering that? They shouldn't have to pay for something that was put on their property
without permission.
without permission. So the guy who owns the trailer need to be called to the table at some point about how it got there. And then deal with it like that. Cause it's a mess to me. Y'all can't say it's not a mess.
Oh, no, we.
So, but I don't think this family
knows it's a mess.
I don't think this family should have to pay for this trailer eventually on their taxes next year.
Right.
And if they gonna pay for it, at least show them how to get it torn down cheaper. I mean, we ain't helping them by tearing it down and get charged double.
Tear that trailer down,
Uh-huh.
then I had a trailer park owner that did that. He went and tore the trailer down. He got sued, and if that guy sues them, then you're looking at legal fees, the cost of the trailer, and everything.
I understand.
So
that, but
I'm trying to keep them out of a trouble.
I understand that, but then Jeff just said that they kind of have a right to tear it down on their property. You didn't say that?
I'm saying, a guy, if somebody's gonna sue him, the person has to prove ownership of the trailer, they have to have some rights to have the trailer there. Now, the law that we're dealing with makes the landowner responsible for the condition of the property. And if you don't wanna take care of the property, you shouldn't own the property. So the landowner's responsible for the condition. And if somebody goes and puts a trailer there and lets it stay there for I don't know how many years, the landowner needs to be responsible for that. One thing we could do is we could say that we're gonna move to demolish this if nobody takes care of it first. So we can set a deadline and say, we're gonna give you 60 days, at the end of 60 days, if it's not done, we're doing it. And we're gonna take it down. So maybe then, we could reach out to Mr. Stokes and we could say, take care of your business. We could try to help these people take care of their business, but we could have a deadline where if nothing else changes, it comes down.
Just to muddy the waters a little bit more.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jones.
There was another structure, and I think it was the same family. The structure burnt. The city told our parents that they were responsible. They paid it. So this will be the second time.
How long ago was that, Mr. Jones?
I don't know, friend, you know.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me say this.
Yes, ma'am.
So basically what we're saying is that with the 60 days, we try to contact him, who have ownership of the structure. Tell him it has to be moved. If it's not moved in 60 days, then it's demolished.
So do we need to go to the city marshal and file paperwork to have him serve for those papers to remove that structure? Is that what we need to do?
City court.
Yes.
City court.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Okay.
just to
Eviction process.
use Mr. John's words to muddy the water a little bit.
All right, money there.
He said his mother owns the trailer, that he doesn't own the trailer. So how much responsibility does he have for moving this trailer?
He's the only one. We don't know where mom
Right.
is, so we
I
gotta
mean, we
start
don't know how many other heirs are there,
Okay.
but we don't know how many other heirs are involved or anything.
No, you're right.
Just-
You're right.
I just hate I don't want us to leave them kind of holding the bag.
Them who? Them-
I'm talking about the Reedhams.
The readers.
But, I mean,
Dustin?
the way,
Or Jeff?
if I could speak,
Yeah.
the way the law is written, if you own the property, you're holding the bag.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's your duty to maintain the property. Now, I think what we need to do is take every reasonable opportunity for people to minimize their loss and expense.
I agree.
And that's why I told Ms. Reedham today.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we beg people to come here and give us any reasonable plan for us to consider.
Okay.
So, but eventually we have to do so.
Okay,
Because
so-
eventually, when 12 children inherit
Yeah,
property.
yeah. Well, okay, so, okay, a plan. So, and I guess I'm just throwing this out. So the plan, could the plan be, we as a family try to contact these the people who own this trailer, telling them legally how we have to do it. They have to remove the structure. If it's not done within a set amount of time, then we come back to, then the city can demolish, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, or will demolish.
We'll demolish.
Yeah, we come back to this part.
What we would, what we do.
I'm saying we'll come back and do this all
Yeah,
over.
what we do is we would pass a motion tonight that would say, we give this little window to try to contact the Stokes or the mama or whoever, the estate, whatever. And then if that doesn't work, we're gonna tear it down. But that would, you know. Yes, Dustin?
The question I have, so we're not gonna be bringing it back at all?
No. In other words, we've done this before.
Okay.
We would do the motion, set a plan, gives everybody time, but it has a deadline. We don't have to bring it back or anything. If that is not met, then we tear it down.
That's right.
Because in all honesty, we as a family are willing to pay for the demolition.
I know you are, but
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just
everybody's
saying.
trying to work
But this- yeah.
with everybody. Yes, Dustin?
Because at the same time, the mobile home also sits on another parcel of land that does not belong to them as well. Is that correct?
Well, Jimmy says it's straddling.
I thought he did with what, yeah.
Jimmy says it's kind of straddling
Other,
two pieces.
Right here.
Okay.
okay.
Who's
So,
behind you?
this-
This
Okay,
no one
yeah, okay, okay.
We'll just suck it all the way
No,
into the readers.
Okay.
It's
this-
mold.
this is
We'll put some mold.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion and then and go along with the plan.
Okay,
As long as it doesn't come
so
back to
your
us.
motion is to demo in 60
Demo
days if the problem's not
Give them
solved,
60 days
if, you
to
know,
try to
if
figure
it's
out
not
the
removed.
problems. If it's not figured out, no disrespect to them, I think that's.
No, they stepping up and trying
to.
I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion for demo in 60 days if it's not addressed and the mobile home is not gone,
Yes, sir.
by however means.
And
And
I'm a
you
second.
have a second. Okay, that's a motion and a second. Councilman Swear, Mayor Pro Tem Gonsalas. We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I think that's fair and equitable.
Everybody's good? Then please vote your machines.
Yeah. Can you come to 60 days?
And I want to thank the readers for coming
come to
because so
60
many
days?
times people don't show up. People don't come to the podium and say, I'm willing to pay whatever I got to
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
It's very refreshing, you know, and thank y'all. Even though your brother's John. Thank y'all very much.
Ms. Reed.
Now we,
Can I ask you
yes, sure.
concerning the contact information? Yes. Y'all want me to try to contact him and tell him, please? Can I get y'all number to let y'all know?
Yeah, I would like to have his contact.
Yes, ma'am, okay. I'll come.
Okay, well, yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we almost done.
Yeah.
We'll do this after meeting.
Yeah, just take a second to get through. Good. Now we move on to Councilman's remarks. Brooke.
I hope everyone had a happy Easter. I am looking forward to getting my new microphone that works. Because no one can ever hear me out here. Anyone know if the CERT training is still happening this Saturday? You remember Natalie Broussard came over and talked to us about it? I have it in my phone as being,
Second Saturday in April.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I think it's the 10th.
I think it's the 10th.
that's this Saturday, yeah.
that's Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, so I was just making sure that was still on because I was gonna try to attend. I didn't know if anyone else was gonna go too. Also, it is grass cutting season and I'm starting to see grass clippings in the road. That's not good for our drainage, that's not good for motorcycles, so please just blow your grass back into your yard, that'd be very helpful.
And if you need, we have a letter that we send out. So if you have one that's like chronic,
good.
call Hillary, and she sends out a letter that kind of reminds people that they need to turn their lawnmower the other way and not throw the
Oh,
clippings
that's
in the
good
street.
to know. Okay. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman.
Freddie, I want to, on a somber note, I want to give condolences to my daughter's grandfather. He passed away, and I know we don't do this much, but I just wanted to acknowledge that, the Malvo family, you know, that they be comforted in their time of need. And on another note, Freddie, I also want to acknowledge my Aunt Peggy today. It's her 80th birthday.
Oh, that's great.
She made 80 years. She served over here for 29 years, and she told me to tell you she better get a call from you personally.
Thank you very much. I will
So happy birthday, Aunt Peggy. I love you. Thank you for all you've done.
It's so refreshing to see houses being taken down by people. Took a little while, but Frederick and French, I think it is, in the corner, empty, clean, as well as the other side. The nasty old house on Doris and Bank. No boards on it, see through and through. We all know who owns it. And I like to see something being done on that major street right there. And a lot of neighbors have complained about that on Doris and the corner of Bank.
When you turned in?
Yep, that's just a big eyesore. But at least they can put boards on the darn thing. We can't even get them to do that.
Okay, well,
On
once it's
several
turned
of
in,
them, you know.
it'll come up on the process.
We hope it'll be soon.
All right, thank you. Rick.
My turn?
Yes, sir.
So just 2 or 3 things.
Sure.
I think a lot of people don't put a lot of merit into the sales tax collection, but if you got your list 5% above last year's collection, I think that's huge. When you're talking about people talking about making your city progressive and moving forward, this is a good sign of moving forward, a small step. But I encourage everybody to look at these numbers and pay attention to them. And as a council, we're gonna work hard, and I really think we can get these numbers higher than they are now if we continue working the way we're working.
Shop local.
Shop local, shop local, and it works, it works. If you just look at the traffic around town, look at the stores, you know, people are getting out now, vaccinations are happening. I think you'll see this number climb up. So let's keep promoting Iberia and encourage people to shop local. Second thing, we spoke a little bit about the Jefferson Terrace flooding issue. Just to let you know, as a parish councilman, I was on board with Mr. Gashan about some floodgates on People's Coulee. I met with the bid opening last week. The bid opening's next week. I went with the contractors last week. They are putting flood control structures at the end of People's Coulee, which connects to the canal by Senior High, which controls Jefferson Terrace flooding. So we're going to see a substantial increase in dispersation of flooding waters in that area when those gates installed. So that's just a project that's happening in the parish that's going to affect the municipality in the long run. Also, we all need to be aware that the Louisiana State legislative session starts this month. Right. So y'all engage yourselves, pay attention to what's going on. They got a lot of issues in Baton Rouge that are going to be from a financial perspective, especially with a lot of stimulus money coming down to the state. So let's pay attention. Let's get engaged with our legislatures and see what we can get to help our city. That'll be it.
Thank you. Peter.
I just want everybody to know that on tomorrow at the Western Park, they're going to be giving out vaccinations from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you can call to get an appointment, and the number is 337-262-5311. And they're taking all persons 18 and older. So please get vaccinated so that we are able to return to some normalcy. And let's continue to mask up and social distance and keep others as well as ourselves safe. And I did want to address one thing that Mr. Bell said during his comment time, that about the one item. In the ordinance, and you're mistaken, you can have one item to sell on your property and not have a permit. If you have more than that one item, then you need the permit because you would have a yard sale. One item is not a yard sale. More than one item is considered a yard sale. So you can have as many items as you want if you have the permit. A regular yard sale. So we're not trying to cut out yard sales with this one item. Okay? And that's all I have to say about that. So thank you. Hope you had a great Easter. I did. And remember the reason for Easter.
Thank you. Councilman Reed.
Okay, so one, I just want to remind everybody that Sunday was the anniversary of Dr. King's death, and so this is really kind of cool that we actually had this proclamation today because we just celebrated his anniversary. Also, we are having this Johnson & Johnson vaccination thing in Weston tomorrow, but there are a lot of people in the community that are either afraid to get vaccinated or having trouble registering for a vaccination, or just don't know why they should be vaccinated. We're looking for volunteers to come out on April 17th to come and go into the community and help to register people for their vaccination. So if you are vaccinated, or if you're somebody who wears your mask and you're not afraid to go out in the community, please contact either me, Ms. Ledbetter, or Councilman Lewis, and sign up to come and volunteer to go in the community and help people get registered so that they can get vaccinated, because we can't return to normalcy until most of us are vaccinated. And our numbers they're not the lowest in the state, but they're not at the high end. So we really need to get people in our community vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you. Justin.
Yeah, hope everyone had a happy Easter. I did as well, my kids and my family. And I want to thank Joe at Public Works, and I want to thank you, Mayor, for helping me out in my district with the issue that we've had for a while. The only thing I want to mention about that is if Pelican and the deal we have with picking up bulk doesn't always pick up everything.
No, they're not going to.
They're not going to pick up everything. And I'm pleading to my constituents, whatever you're going to put out, make sure it's going to be picked up, because it's an eyesore. This happened twice in the past 3 weeks, and really I define it as a bunch of, I'm not going to use the word, but
it was a health hazard. Leave it at
it was flies, all that stuff, smell, whatever, you name it. And hopefully it can be resolved and not happen again. If it does, then maybe we can go another route. But I'm just pleading with people, be careful what you put out. If it's nasty stuff, that if you're working for the company, would you want to pick it up? But now we had to send out Public Works to help us, and it's kind of, so I want to appreciate what you did, Mayor, and thank you. And but other than that, that's it for tonight.
Thank you. I just have a few tonight. Next meeting is April 20th. We have a special election on Saturday, April 24th. That is for our parks. That is not a new tax. That is a tax renewal. That is very important so that we can continue to operate our parks and recs at the level we are. Just a little side note, Parks and Recs is opening back up. Heather and I have been meeting, putting rules together, putting policies in place so that we can get more people through the gym. Now the governor has eased up on some of the restrictions, but we feel it's safe to, so we are beginning to open, and I think you'll see programs come in and things happening, which is exciting. That it's a step toward, getting back where we, as a community. Remind everybody that there is the council and citizens, they can participate in an MS4 stormwater survey at the cityofnewiberia.com under Public Works section. That's important. It meets a requirement for the MS4. MS4 is a bunch of regulations that were handed down to us with no funding, of course, from the state that we have to do. We are looking for funding to make some of that happen, but these simple steps we can take now to kind of be in the requirements of what we're supposed to be doing. We always have adjudicated properties for sale on Civic Source, and I think that's it. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. There you go.